our next speaker, David Kitney, is an Annaby Road lad, Hull born and bred. To use his words, a normal Joey who dreamed of being a professional footballer. In 2006, after working for several years in sales, demotivated David went to register with a local recruitment firm and then ended up buying the company. David will whiz you through what he has learned from what has become a nightmare business marriage through to running a successful business in Emerson Kitney, along with growing a very successful joint venture. So please welcome on stage, David Kitney.
Morning, I'll try and get through with the clicker. A bit technical, changing a battery at this time. Okay, this morning what I'm going to talk to you about is obviously a business relationship and a business marriage that I had. I'm going to whiz you through some of the things that I've learned along the way. So hopefully it'll provide you with some insight to things that I've learned. Funny enough, just before I start, my wife said to me this morning, how are you feeling about getting up and talking about failure? And I said, pretty crap really, because it's not easy standing up in front of a bunch of people and telling them how you failed at one point in your life. And she turned around and said, well, imagine how I felt at the time. So it's a valid point. I think behind a lot of successful people, there's people that support them. I think they say behind every good man there's a woman, so it's a valid point. So I'll rattle through pretty quickly if the clicker lets me. So first thing of a marriage, well, there was a prenuptial agreement in place, as you do. You go do your legals. We had a shareholders agreement, getting our finances in order. I took out personal guarantees at the time. I was only 29, so I was in my sort of late 20s. Put some houses on the line, as you do, taking all that risk, and getting all the legals stacked up, which I think is very important, and you have to do that. I've learned some lessons off the back of it. It ultimately led to me losing a house. Over there, come on. Doesn't work. Losing a house. I got a couple of houses I had to put up. I lost one, and I also lost 48 grand in cash in the end. Can you roll it through, pal? Yeah. Cheers. Yep. So I learnt some lessons from this, obviously later on down the line, and they were really think about the legals and assess the partnership that you put in place. I think it's a valuable lesson to me. Make sure you choose the right partner, and make sure you get everything stacked up. In hindsight, I shouldn't have done a 50-50. With me putting a lot on the line, I should have really been the majority partner in the relationship. So a lesson there, which I don't think I would ever go into a 50-50 again. I do have some joint ventures, one with Smales Goldie, and it works very successfully. It's a win-win. But 50-50s, I'm not sure I would do that again. So they're my lessons on that stage. I also avoided personal guarantees. So I don't think I'd do personal guarantees again. Again, the banks love to tie you up in them. I think a lesson I learned is now try and keep the personal separate from the business side, and keeping that separate. So then you go on to the honeymoon period. So within our marriage, it was all going well. We'd set up this business. We had some real successful growth stories, grew the business, triple staff numbers, and it was almost too good to be true. I think we grew too quickly. And then this starts happening. I found out fingers are going in the till, finances aren't all accurate, and we have different values, and I think this is what one of the things as a partner I found out I had very different core values to my partner. So I think the cultural fit is important, and that's something that I learned. And once I found out that all this was going on, it was really hard for me to then trust. And once you lose that trust, it's time to move on to the next stage, which is we need to get a divorce, because I can't trust you anymore. So that's when I started to think, how do I get out of what I've got into? We've got a number of staff, we've built up this business, leading clients in the area that we're working with, and at that point it became very, very stressful, as you can imagine, which then moved on to some of the lessons learned there were stay close to the finances. So I think very key to any business. If you don't know and you're not on the button in terms of where you stand right now, profitability, cash flow, then I would question that you need to be closer to it. Be patient. I tried to build Rome in a day. The business grew very quickly, and I think one thing I've learned is it's about building long, sustainable growth rather than the quick buck. So that's another important lesson. And I stand by my principles. You know, go where you go and stand by your principles is something that I've learned, and I don't think I would move away from that. So some of the key points in that part. Then we move on to the divorce, which was, I always remember this, it was July the 6th, 2009, and it started out this day by, first of all, going down to see Andrew Jackson's, then going to see Smills Goldie, who were our accountants at the time, and before going to the bank to tell them what was going on, what I was planning to do, or come up with a plan, because at that point I didn't actually have a plan. It was like, crikey, I need to do something, I need to divorce from my partner, but how do I do it? And what I would say is, I saw the lawyers and the bank, the accountant before I went to the bank, because you go to your bank and you tell them something wrong, you want to be a bit careful with that. I think I work on the principle, I'll tell the bank what they need to know. I know some banks in the room might not want to hear that, but you know, I guess that's the principle I work on, and I still work by those principles. I have a good relationship with my bank. I don't bank with NatWest anymore for various reasons, but after doing that, it was like, crikey, let's keep calm and find a plan. What plan's going to work that takes into account staff, suppliers, clients, friends, family, how I'm going to tell everybody. So I was on my way back from town home, and I needed to go into Morrison's. So I went into Morrison's to get some shopping. I thought, I'll cook a meal, get a nice bottle of wine, I'll sit down with, do you want the wife then, partner, and we'll talk about it, and I'll come up with a plan. And while I was in Morrison's, the phone rings, and I'm like, hi, yeah, I'm in Morrison's, I'm getting the shopping, don't worry. He said, I think I'm pregnant. I was like, not the best timing, you know. I was like, yeah, great, that's fantastic, I'll buy champagne instead. And that's what led to the next one, which was, you know, and I guess all this culminated in more stress. Crikey, you know, I know I've got my houses on the line, wife to be now pregnant, got to sort all this out. So I came up with a plan, which ultimately I had to, and this was the hardest part actually, go around to the suppliers, the clients, and you know, these were the BPs of the world, Centricas, other smaller SME markets, people in the area that we were working with, to tell them, actually, I failed, and that was really, really hard. And there's people in this room that I had to go and do that too. It wasn't easy because my partner had shirked away from that. You know, she just toddled off, didn't care, left me to pick up all the mess and deal with it all. So it was a hard place and a hard time. And I think what I learnt there was, be brave. You know, I think people respect you if you stand up and be honest. You know, and I was like, what story do I give? Well, I'm not going to flower it up, I'll tell the true story. And I think that's what I stand by. And I think, you know, you look, I'm still here trading and doing business with now a successful business, and actually Smills, I've got a partnership with Smills Goldie, which are a reputable business. So I would say that, you know, like Paul said, you know, by failing quickly did allow me to build and become more wise. And I think one of the quotes I'll leave you with is about failure is the opportunity, provides the opportunity to be more wise next time round. And it's a valid point. And I think, going back to the other slide, don't bother pulling it up, I think building strong networks and relationships within the business community, and somebody once said to me, you're a peoplepedia, you know loads of people, and I think that's really helped me in business. Be careful how you say that. Yeah. So I think the value there is really sort of, it's great, get to know people, because you can draw upon advice, guidance, and actually ultimately form partnerships and business opportunities. So I know that's been a quick whistle tour, but you know, that's my sort of how I've had a marriage in business that's not worked out. So thanks for your time, and hope it's provided some useful tips.